There are certain times when you really miss our late and brilliant monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, particularly in times of difficulty. She always seemed to know to do the right thing, when to keep quiet and when to lead from the front. It's been interesting, hasn't it, when you think, because obviously when you think about it now, the Elizabethan age was a wonderful age. Of course, it's that many of us only know that one era. And Elizabeth was one of those people that there's no two ways, in my opinion. She was just brilliant at that role. She understood the role, kept out of all the party politics, never offended anybody, Of course, we got glimpses of certain aspects, didn't we, at garden parties when you would hear her speak. And she might say things like, oh, how very rude, or things like that. But that was it, really. That was the level of interaction. Now, some might suggest, of course, His Majesty the King, King Charles, really should follow suit, given this latest, shall we say, bombshell. As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your time today. I mean, it is a difficult fine line to tread, isn't it? This is the thing. King Charles, a brand new era, and never really known for being sort of quiet, shall we say. He's always had an opinion, whether it be on architecture, the climate, things like that. And they don't always resonate with people because real people, as I call them, you and I, have other problems, paying the water rates, the mortgage, the gas bill. And when somebody wants to tell you about the climate, you think, hang on a minute, I'm more concerned about the price of bread going up and how I'm going to eat. Now, this is now the problem, of course, for His Majesty the King, because I think, and this is just me putting myself out there, but I just think that he's been very badly advised on this particular conundrum, because as many of you know, over here in the United Kingdom, we've had what are dubbed the UK riots, and this is really all about people kicking back, really wanting to take control back of the country. It was all promised, you see, a few years back, all thanks to Brexit, and we were going to be in control of ourselves, and it's now got worse than ever before. The borders, uncontrolled immigration, small boats arriving, everybody paying for it. Meanwhile, people that have been here a long time, paid their dues, paid their taxes, are having a really rough time of it. Now, as we know, Sir Keir Starmer, the current British Prime Minister, he's having also a really tough time. And again, where it gets confusing is that one suggested that perhaps a worrying word, or less worrying word, should I say, from His Majesty the King. See, a lot of people don't realise that Sir Keir this weekend is going up to Balmoral to spend some time with His Majesty the King, because that's normally the period that they do. It's time for the sovereign to sort of sit with a sitting Prime Minister and they go through things. Margaret Thatcher wasn't a fan of Balmoral, found it incredibly boring, let me tell you. Cherie Blair wasn't a fan of Balmoral either. So it's going to be interesting with Sir Keir Starmer, who's not a fan of monarchy, full stop, how he finds Balmoral. Now, according to that source, it was under that instruction and through number 10 that Charles gave out that particular message. This has magnificently backfired, all to the worst really for Charles, similarly, because people are saying, what do you know about real life? We can't get a hospital appointment. You want to live where I live. I'm struggling. Everything negative that you shouldn't really get involved with. And it goes back to what I was saying at the start of the video. His mum, bless her, would never have gone down that route. She would have kept well away. Now, it's interesting also because he wanted to go and visit people up in Southport after the terrible murders of those poor children. But he was advised, because of security and extra sort of strain on the police up there, not to do so. A little better than, of course, the Prime Minister, who whipped in and out without a kind word to anybody, but of course could spare the time to sit with these people at a mosque. You see how this works. The public have had enough. I would say to His Majesty the King, be very careful about being dragged in to these problematic political minefields, simply because once you do, this will backfire on you. And more importantly, your subjects, the people that really do admire the British monarchy, could equally turn on you. And that wouldn't be very nice now, would it? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.